I have a scary story to share with y'all just in time for Halloween. Now, I would have blown the story off, but something else just happened. Okay, so earlier today, okay, let me tell y'all a little bit about my living situation. Um, Pretty much, I pretty much live in a room, okay? And oh, this is so creepy. Okay, so and I try to keep to myself, and I kind of prefer it that way. Now, most of the time, I'm in the room and I only come out to use the bathroom or to go to the kitchen because I have to have water eventually. When I'm not working, that's what I do basically. I kind of enjoy my own company. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all, it seems like every so often, like when comes close to Halloween, something crazy happens, like undeniably crazy. And earlier, I'm getting chills just talking about this. Earlier, uh, during my stay here, there were little things that happened, but I just tossed it up to, oh, I'm just having a dream, because stuff like that happens occasionally. And, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to sleep, you have a dream, and you're halfway awake, and whatever. Now, so here's the situation, and maybe sometimes we like to scare ourselves, so maybe I'm scaring myself intentionally. I don't know, but this is the situation. So, and like I said, I stay basically in my room, and there's another young woman, and you know, as of late, she's pretty much been staying in her room too, and then there's the owner. Now, for the most part, like I said, I really don't really pay attention a whole lot to what happens like out in the main area because there's in situations where I overheard stuff, and because when you overhear things, it makes you feel like you're a part of it. But my lesson is in life is see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. If you don't bear witness to it, it's all right. You're going about your business. You don't have to deal with it. And if somebody aggressively puts it to you, then then of course it's nothing you can do. But just for my safety and the sanctity of my peace and my space, I try to stay to myself as much as possible. Now, this story is so creepy, y'all, and I didn't want to record it at first because I was like, because with all the crazy stuff that happens in my life, I don't need no more crazy. Okay? And I think that's true for all of our lives. But some things, just better left unsaid. So, just normal peaceful day. I went and I, did what I had to do for the morning, and I was working on some stuff, and I went to go to the bathroom in the kitchen, and there absolutely, this is so creepy, y'all. It was like, oh, I got chills all over my body. It was like dead silent. There was like nobody here, pretty much. Okay, but the young lady was here, but as of late, like I said, she's been pretty quiet too in her room, and so and it felt like nobody was here. But I walked past the living room, and it didn't scare me then, but like in hindsight, it's like, yo, what was that? I walked past the living room just as normal, just walked straight to the kitchen, and the TV just turned on. Okay, first of all, now this car thing is going off, and it makes it creepier. I don't know whose car that is, but first of all, I don't touch the TV. I don't touch anything pretty much. I stay in my room. I go to the bathroom that I basically use to pee all by myself. And, I'll, on occasion, I will share the shower when I need to. Um, but it was creepy to me. I mean, it wasn't creepy at first because I was just like, yeah. I was like, that's weird. The TV just turned on. Absolutely nobody. I was thinking, I was trying to, how you try to rationalize it out? Like, okay, well, maybe the cat or something. There's three cats here. None of them Two of the cats I suspect are stray cats that the young lady brought in because they, at every moment, they're trying to get out. And one of them is just ridiculously huge, like the size of my arm. Seriously. And my arm is big and fat. Fatter than that, actually. It's bigger than my, it's like two of my arms, fat arms put together. And they were nowhere around there. And all of them were in eyesight. They were nowhere, they were not in the living room. But it happened that fast where it came on. I went to get my water. And, when I walked past, I noticed that it turned on, but I was like, okay. I went on and got my water and went on about my business because I was thinking, okay, the cat probably hit the remote or something. But not at all. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, no problem. Let me just turn the TV off. And I went on about my business. Didn't think anything about it. So then I texted the landlord to let him know because I wanted to let him know um, earlier because when I took a shower, like the water was like stopped up or whatever, but there was nothing wrong with the drain or clog. Before it was like the tub was nasty and this, that, and the other, so that was why it was stopped up. And that was a long time ago. But as of recently, maybe a couple weeks, um, he cleaned it, and so, but all of a sudden it started stopping up again, and I'm like, what the heck? And there's nothing in the tub, but that could just be because there was maybe past plumbing problems, and I don't know if you declog it or whatever you do to it to make it okay. So he responded to it and was like, well, if necessary, you can use the other one. And I don't like to use it because to me that's an invasion of somebody's personal space because it's in that person's personal area. And I don't like invading people's space because I like my space. And I feel like if you own something, you should have a certain amount of privacy, whatever. You know what I mean? And so it was just, and then the way that I worded the thing about the TV, I was just like, yeah, the TV um, happened to turn on. Did you have it on a timer? I just went on and turned it off. And then I felt like I needed to make sure that he was aware that I'm asking you if you had it on a timer because it seemed to turn on by itself. And he was just like, no, it's not on a timer. Thank you for turning it off. And that was it. And so I'm like, okay, I don't want to seem nuts, but has that ever happened to you? Absolutely no response. And I'm thinking, okay, that's just the way that that person is. Who wants to be texting back and forth, about something stupid. So of course, the kind of person that I am, I want to know. So I asked him, and I usually, like I said, try not to say too much, but I asked, hey, has that happened? He kind of blew me off. He was just like, yeah, he was just like, when I told him about it, he was just like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Before I could finish the sentence, I don't know. I don't know. Thank you for turning TV off. That was it. Bam. And I was like, well, at that point I was in the bathroom and I was like, well, I just wanted to know if you ever experienced that. No response. That was the end of it. But then of course, again, the way that I am, I want to know. So I asked him directly, like, hey, has that ever happened before? And he was like, yeah, it's happened a lot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what the freak, you know? But I'm gonna say this, like older people sometimes they know, like my mom used to tell me stories and stuff, but just like the situation I had, I don't know if I probably didn't share on this channel about the Haitian lady and the curse or whatever that. I'm not even getting to that, but the lady, when I guess everything she found out was okay, she didn't want me to speak on it because when you speak on things, I guess you bring them, So, um, ooh, I got chills all over me. So, like, when I think about the stories my mom told, like, it was certain things she would talk about, like supernatural things or whatever, but then, like, certain things she would not talk about, like stuff that I saw, like when we were coming up. Um, she didn't want to talk about certain things. And then the last visit that I had to see her, something happened and I asked her, I was like, hey, did you, and she was just like, of course I heard that, and she was just like, trying to tell me don't say anything, so I didn't. But that was different. Now, what made me share this story, because I wasn't going to share it at first, was that I was in the process of cleaning up. So I happened to pick up this receipt from Walmart, which was actually my last trip to Walmart maybe a few days ago. I bought some toilet paper, okay? And lo and behold, I look at the receipt and the change due 666. And I didn't notice it because I never look at my receipts. I never look at my receipts. I should, but if they give me back change that appears to be the right amount of change, I don't count to the penny. If it looks like it's about the right amount of dollars, I kind of go on about my business. I don't really, count it. So, yeah. So, have you all had, and like I said, this is not unique to me. I mean, every once in a while, crazy stuff happens. And usually I just toss it up to like dreams and things like that. And dreams I always have that sense of whatever to it. But have you ever had an experience? What's your most recent experience that you had? How was it resolved? Was it ever resolved? Then I spoke to one of my kick friends about it, and he was just like, "Oh, that happens all the time. It's just static." I'm just like, how the heck is that static? I was nowhere near. What are you talking about? And then another one of my quote unquote quick friends was just like, unplug it. I was like, well, it's not mine to unplug, so I'm not going to touch it. And he was like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, well, if it is something supernatural or whatever, then then unplugging it is not going to help. But I don't know. It probably isn't. Maybe it is static or whatever. And I don't want proof either way, but I just wanted to share that story because it's about Halloween time and I thought it'd be a cool, creepy story to share. So, anyways, share your story if you have an experience. What's the most recent one that you had? Tell me if it was resolved. And, it always turns out funny, so you can laugh about it. Bye.